What's up, guys? On another episode, I finally got the car in the garage. Finally. Today I'm installing my head studs. I don't know if you can see them. There we go. I'm installing my head studs, my LS9 head gaskets, and I am copper spraying them. I'm doing all that and cleaning the block. Cleaning the threads in the block where the bolts are gonna go. You can see it. There's a few of them in there now. Just spraying some brake cleaner in there, cleaning it with the tip of this rag, just stuffing it in the threads and then cleaning all that out, along with threading a few of the bolts in there. Then with the brake cleaner that's still inside a little bit, it'll come out once you start threading it in, pulling the bolt back out and then cleaning that as well. So a lot of back and forth. I'm really meticulous when it comes to this kind of stuff, so I want to make sure it's done right. Like the instructions said, no oil, like don't have any oil residue or anything like that, or you'll get some preload, some wrong preload readings. So definitely gonna take my time with this, as everybody should, and let's get this engine studded, gasketed, and I still have to degree the cam, so I'll degree the cam probably next week, and that'll be for another episode. But for right now, head studs and LS9 head gaskets with copper spray. Let's go. Oh, almost forgot. The kit came with some lubricant, and my dumb ass forgot to put them on, so time to back all these out. Just, never forget to think about some of the things that you overlook. Like, I totally forgot about the lubricant that came in the box. Probably because the box is 10 feet that way, as opposed to being right in front of me. But hey, this is my first time doing this, so you live, you learn. Not saying I'm gonna mess anything up, but I need that lubricant on here. Okay, so take two. Now I have the assembly lube that came with it. Just put a dab on the end of each thread, on the end of the threads that go into the block. See if I can get some of this out. There we go. Now, I knew this was supposed to go on, I just totally forgot about it. So, the threads get some assembly lube, as well as the nuts and the washers when you go to final assembly. For right now, I'm not putting my heads on, so I'm only going to be putting the gaskets on, so I won't be putting any lube on the nuts today. But as of right now, I will be putting it on these threads. Once you're done with that, just insert them into the block. They'll go in snugly and hand tight. They can't stress that enough in the instructions. Just hand tight them into the block without any torque, without any tools. Literally just twist them with your hand, and that's it. There we go. Alright, so this one's in. Got 9 more small ones to go. 9 more small ones to go, and then the rest of the bolts right after. So let's get to it. Quick little random tip. You're probably gonna get some studs that don't want to go in fully by hand. Like if you turn them with your hand, they're not gonna want to thread in. Like this one was really stubborn at first, but now, after I used a ratchet and the correct sized Allen, not torquing it, definitely not torquing it, I literally put the Allen in the socket, the ratchet in the socket right on top, and I just turned it very easily by hand. The minute I felt a little bit of pressure, these other ones went in by hand. The minute I felt a little bit of pressure, I backed off. Like for instance, here's a little go, right there. The minute it's snagged like that, take the ratchet right off. Do not torque it. Don't torque it any more than it has to be. For instance, I could probably back it out by hand now if I really wanted to. Let's see. Probably not. But if you get a little bit of snag, like if you see that it's not threading all the way in, don't be afraid to use a ratchet, but very lightly. Do not torque it. Literally just guide it into the threads until you feel it stop. Okay, got the engine completely studded. There we go. Completely studded. I took my time because I didn't want to, mess anything up. And when you do these little ones, here we go. When you do these little ones, you're gonna get like a little bit of a pull at the end of the stud of the assembly lube. But since your head gasket is gonna have to go on there on that surface anyway, I cleaned it up with a rag. Like I took it around and I just maneuvered it around the around the stud itself. So now that surface is completely clean. And in the meantime, while I did like a set of them. Say I did the top set, I would walk over. I'll show you guys right now. I would walk over and start to spray the copper spray on the head gaskets. So I'd go stud the block, then come and spray, stud the block, come and spray. So in the time I've been walking back and forth, it's actually getting a lot done. So now I'm just waiting for that to dry. Once that dries, I'll flip them, do the other side, and throw them on the engine, and that'll be it for today. One small video that I forgot to make, and I wish I made it. Oh, here they are. Were these trunnion upgrades? I think it's the 13702 kit for these. That was a V6 Mustang. Trash. The trunnion upgrades for these rocker arms. My whole thing about like this YouTube stuff, like my whole idea or concept for this YouTube stuff is doing things with what you have laying around and doing things what you have possible. Like for instance, there's a video on how to do these with a press or with a vise. I have access to neither of those. I did them with a C-clamp, and that's literally it. Just a C-clamp. I have a little desk in my room. You guys will probably see it in some other videos. I have a small little desk in my room, and I laid the rocker body on top, dropped the trunnion in, and then pressed it using the clamp and a small piece of metal, a thin piece of metal that I also used to remove and install my valve springs. I'll show you guys a little bit of that when I get back to my house, and that was the whole concept. I really wish I would have recorded this because they're perfect. They're as good as if you use the press or anything like that, but like I said, I didn't have access to that. So this is all of this stuff is just getting it done with what you have. So that's the message I'm trying to promote here. I really wish I took this video, but unfortunately I didn't. I'll give you guys like a small visual maybe of how I did it, but other than that, just you guys can get this stuff done with what you have laying around. Of course, you're gonna need to buy things here and there, but don't go overboard. Is what I'm trying to say. So let's finish spraying these copper spray on these gaskets.